What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is poppin'? Good morning. Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. As I just spell check my tweet here, answering your questions live now. Done. Sent. I am John Hansen. This is Hump Day with Hansen. Thomas Tipple over there. And Thomas and I were just lamenting the National Fake You Out League and how rough of a season this has been. It's a lot of different reasons. Typical doldrums. This happens every single year. The injuries start piling up. Maybe we're suffering a little paralysis by overanalysis. We were just talking about maybe we have too much data. But, I don't think the NFL has ever been less predictive than it is this year, and a million reasons why. By the way, Thomas, just riffing right off the top here, I had a little epiphany this weekend, and maybe people have been talking about this for 2 months, and I missed it. But you know what one problem is? The freaking new kickoff rule. People aren't running off enough plays.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the excitement of a good kickoff. For anyone that doesn't know, I played 10 years of football at a decently high level in Canada, for what it's worth. And I was a kick returner. It was my favorite thing. It's always been my favorite thing. You want to go back? I used to love watching Brian Mitchell, the old New York Giants kick returner back in the 2000s.
Eagles, too.
10,000 returning yards alone.
Yeah, still does radio in D.C.
Was a phenomenal player. I loved kick returners, right? From Josh Cribbs,
Dante Hall,
like
Devin Hester.
Exactly. These were the guys. Shout out R.I.P. Jacoby.
By the way, how about this, NFL? Why don't you just go back to what it was 20 years ago? Okay, stop tinkering with it. Let's go with what we're doing forever up until, I don't know, 10 years ago. They kind of mess with it all, and they can't get it right. How about this, guys? Go back to what it was in the 90s and 2000s.
I will say, like, the way kickers kick now, that ball's never coming out of the end zone, and that's
true.
The big problem. It was touchback. It was either
move them back, move the damn kickers back.
Right. There's that too. There's just a lot of things that they could do, but I think you're right in that it's kind of neutralizing some of our long drive.
Exactly. There's nothing sustaining in the NFL.
They return it to the 35 or 40, and in 2 plays they're at the 40.
Right.
Now the deep shots are gone. I think you're right with that. I think the kickoff returns have done
a disservice to fantasy footballers.
I think it has increased scoring opportunity.
Right.
Also taking away, for us, selfishly, fantasy points. More teams can get into the red zone faster and more often. But at the same time, that's fewer plays, receptions, passes, rush, et cetera, because they're already at the 35. They're already at the 40 in a play or two. You get the ball at the 35, one 18-yard completion, all of a sudden, look where you are. Like, you're almost in field goal range. So it's definitely changed the game.
Yeah. So with that said, as I always state, at least in terms of traditional fantasy, like the prop world has been a nightmare the last 2 or 3 weeks. But I feel like if you read Hansen's hints, it's been pretty good in terms of isolating good plays, bad plays, matchups, and all that. But again, the prop situation is, which, full disclosure, I want to get them right, and it's just like, I do put out way too many. I mean, last week I was over 500. It was like an accomplishment. That's I keep losing them by minuscule totals as well. So very, very frustrating. But again, I feel this way every year for the last 25 years, probably this time of the year. It always happens in November. That's why I kind of pump up November. And then we always do seem to get a little bump right around now, hopefully. Week 14, last week of the regular season. But just generally speaking, I'm happy to answer questions. I just wish I could be a little bit more definitive on things, but it is really, really hard to be definitive about really anything this year.
It feels like every time you get excited about a player, they get rolled up on a run block, or they
100%.
All of a sudden forget how to catch a football.
Yeah, exactly.
For seemingly no reason. I mean, look at Jameson Williams just last week. He went insane when everyone got hurt. He had an opportunity for another touchdown, and all of a sudden he forgot how to catch a football on the over route, drops it. He had another walk in. Like it's just a weird, after being an absolute baller the rest of the game.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing really sticks. Like the waiver wire is like so bizarre this year. You have dudes who are doing well and they're available in like 80% of leagues. It's just like a over fragmentation, or I don't know, like saturation. Nobody really, I mean, who out there, let's just take a look, emerged out of almost nowhere, which tends to happen, and stuck.
Alec Pierce is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I talk about
maybe Drake May.
Drake May.
He wasn't a waiver wire guy though. Pierce probably was.
I talk about the gross quarterback landscape probably too much for our listeners on the Dynasty Points mini pod. But the QB2 era is once again insane. Like, look, we had a lot has been said about Shedeur Sanders and what he can and can't do. Guru, he outscored Lamar, he outscored Lawrence, he outscored so many upper tier quarterbacks this week, and he didn't score 11 fantasy points in a 4-point passing touchdown league.
Oh my God. Oh, here's another one. When I'm looking over the strength of schedule for the next 4 weeks, do you know that there are, I think it's 16 teams currently giving up 16 or fewer fantasy points to quarterbacks? There are a number of teams giving up like 11, 10. Are you kidding me? That's like a tight end number.
Yeah, I know. And that's one of those things, right? Where look at waiver wire quarterbacks this year: Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, Marcus Mariota,
all crap
last week. But they were all QB1s last week, and
right.
What this was
they won't be next week,
right? But like it'll be 4 other guys that are waiver wire ads or late round picks, right? That'll step into that spot. It's been like that all year, and I feel like more this year than in previous years, especially because again, I built my entire kind of fantasy football reputation on these gross quarterbacks. I don't remember a year where you had this many C.J. Strouds, Lamar Jacksons, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnolds. Tua we know because Tua is the only quarterback I've ever experienced lead the league in passing and lose dynasty value the next year. Is just like the worst good quarterback you can roster, but it's just a year with quarterbacks that is interesting.
Well, the quarterbacks in general really aren't very good. Drake May has been a revelation for sure. Jalen Hurts is, I don't even know what the hell he is at this point. Josh Allen has been all over the map. They don't have a good receiving core. Mahomes has been playing pretty well. Stafford, obviously great. Herbert, completely week to week. Lamar is in the dirt. Dak's been pretty good. Bo Nix, okay, but you have trust issues. Jordan Love is completely schematic dependent. If he's going up against a team that plays a lot of man, he'll be good. If he's not, he won't be good. I mean, that's pretty much it. Jackson Dart, forget it. If he's not running, what do we have here? We got nothing. Goff, I'm shocked at how high we have Goff in our rankings this week. I'm sure it'll be adjusted, but I don't think Amon-Ra's playing, in a short week. Darnold, good luck. Good defense, great running game. Brissett's been great. I mean, Brissett's been like money. Like, just start him. Caleb Williams, Mr. Disconnect between fantasy and reality. I still don't really I feel like he has played better. He's improved. I feel like Ben Johnson's done a good job of managing him. And I said that right from the beginning. I'm like, I was around Caleb Williams a little bit at the combine. He was all over the place. I couldn't avoid him. he was very outgoing and gregarious. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just fake. But then I kind of observed him this year. I'm like, you know what? He's definitely different. He's a lot more serious. You know, he seems to be focused. And that's all kind of playing out, but he's still not that great. Trevor Lawrence misses like 7 routine throws a game.
I can't do it with that guy. I am so done with just Trevor. Look, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is their quarterback next year.
It's a pretty big contract, man.
I do not think that matters.
Right.
I don't think it matters nearly as much as it used to. The Russell Wilson thing kind of hit that home. Watch Liam Cohen every time Trevor Lawrence makes one of those mistakes. The look on his face is pure bewilderment.
Right.
He has no idea what he's looking.
Right. Okay. So, I like that. This is kind of stuff that I do.
I've been hanging around the guru long enough.
Yes, it does. It does tip off. You know, you look at body language of coaches, players, all that stuff. You know, Adam.
It literally panned to the sideline, and Liam Cohen was like,
"Yeah, you're like reading lips. You're like, he's like,
what are you looking at? Like, how are you hitting that?" So,
right.
I'm pretty done with him. But I will say, whatever the next quarterback he gets to coach, get that guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I thought Stroud in the Texans passing game was pretty decent last week.
He was looking better before he got lit up with the concussion. He had over a 30-point game. We talked about this on Hump Day here, where he started to turn it around. He had that 30-point banger. The offense is getting better. And then, boom.
Right.
On a weird run play, he gets concussed and misses time, and we're stuck with Davis Mills. It feels like they're turning the corner.
Yeah.
And some of that I really feel like actually is because of Woody Marks.
Yeah, because they're running the ball, you know, and he's got more pop than Nick Chubb, so he doesn't get stopped for a gain of 3 on first down or whatever. You know, he's moving the chains a little bit, and it's kind of a balanced offense right now with, Nico's your one, Schultz is your underneath cleanup guy, and Higgins is a pretty damn nice 2 right now. So, yeah, they're looking all right. Maybe they win the division, right? What else do we have here? Players to trade for. I'm still doing it. I guess this is probably the last week. I have a very small list, obviously. We're only dealing with basically 4 games, but I got Josh Jacobs on the list. Looking at the matchups, I could see him kind of reasserting himself as their identity because they don't have these great schematic matchups for Jordan Love, and he's a mere mortal unless he's up against a man-heavy defense. I've got ETN on the list. Speaking of the Jags, I think, again, if you're Liam Cohen down the stretch here, maybe you're leaning on the run as much as humanly possible. Because Trevor Lawrence is your quarterback. And I like the matchups here. He's got Indy twice, and they're getting run on these days. Jets and Denver's not good. I'll throw out Saquon Barkley one more freaking time. But look at these matchups.
I know.
Chargers, where they're much easier to run on than throw. Vegas, DC, and Buffalo.
Yeah, so Saquon Barkley is 740 yards rushing on the season. You know he's got incentives and bonuses that they hit. That's something you want to pay attention to down the stretch run.
That was my hottest take on the Eagles. I'm like, Barkley is not going over 1,450 rushing yards. I wrote an article on the site. I'm like, that's not happening. And like, man, did that not happen. I can't say that I saw everything going down like it did, although with Kevin Patullo, I don't know if you probably didn't see this, but Kevin Patullo got his house egged on Friday night after the game. Do you see that?
Yeah, that stuff's insane to me. Like, extremism is like it's an illness, in my opinion. If you're that invested, please go outside and like read a book.
Well, I can tell you what the deal is with that, because it happened in the next town from where I used to live, and I lived in the same town as Nick Sirianni, and I believe it was Morristown, New Jersey, which is where this occurred, and they're just a bunch of rich, spoiled, entitled assholes, basically, and that's probably what it was. And I say that because my last town, that's very descriptive of the kids that my kids had to go to high school with. It's like it's like you want to talk about, you could go to school in the hood, you can go to school in like Brooklyn, like or you can go to school in a wealthy suburban place where every parent is a doctor or a lawyer, and your kids are just monsters. So that's about as bad as an environment as you can get. Anywho, moving on to Aaron Jones. Again, the Vikings, we're going to find out a lot about the Vikings now that these last two matchups are out of the rear view, because we actually have 4 good matchups in a row for the offense.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I've learned from the Vikings. I'm not playing them.
Right.
Jordan Addison needs Stickum.
He does.
He so bad. Like the scene in The Replacements when they give the wide receiver, he just lifts his hands and it's absolutely dripping wet with Stickum. That's what he needs right now. Troy, our boy Franklin. And as for Jefferson, it's like you can't rely on him beyond 10 to 12 points right now. It's the
I know, but we're going to learn a lot about Jefferson. I'm telling you,
it's a narrative right now. But as for fantasy, you guys can play him.
Understood. I actually have him on my list though. And look, it's a ballsy move. It's a volatile move. You don't want to trade away a key player, but if you do have a deficiency, you can get them for pennies on the dollar. And again, I'm not talking out my what, because one of the games is Detroit, and McCarthy played well in that game. Why? Because they play freaking man, and it's easy when you're up against man. They're also got DC and the Giants. So, and you got Dallas in between. So this is a 4-game run that is going to be a litmus test, and we're going to learn a lot about the 2026 Minnesota Vikings from these next 4 games. And you know what? I am so sick of Ken Walker. I've never been a Ken Walker guy, but the last year I was in because I thought he was appealing. I mean, I thought it was a good price tag and all that. He was not on my list this year, but I did try to say, hey, a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, honestly, get Ken Walker. If it's ever going to happen, this is it. Well, it hasn't. And once again, all Zach Charbonnet does is score, and you were a running back, Thomas. This guy, Ken Walker, is regressed. Like, he can't run inside. I mean, he's just outside runs. That's it.
Yeah, it's the Ken Walkers. You know how you retired from kickers and defense?
Yeah, it's so maddening.
I've officially retired from Ken Walker rhetoric. My co-host on the Market Report for Dynasty on Fridays, Andy, I made him make an agreement that after last week, he's not allowed to talk about Ken Walker again until February. Because he's out, he's in. He's out, he's in. He wants in, he wants out. He's buying, he's selling. He's buying. So now we're like, look, you get 1 more week, and then you don't mention him again until February, because this is just what he is now. And now you're just hoping he goes to another team, and it's not the same case. It's, I think an outside zone scheme is probably his best fit.
You think?
I don't think he has the grind it out.
No.
Running back mentality.
No.
Maybe again. I'm not going to sit here and tell a pro athlete that they don't have X kind of, but I mean, just from my observation, you're right. Outside
that's it.
His best spot. So an outside zone scheme. I mean,
even Jonathan Taylor stated early this year that he's in year 5, and it took him 3-4 years before he learned that just take that 4-yard run, dude.
Yeah.
And show the patience. It's slow to the hole, fast through the hole. You know what I mean? But he just gets the ball and goes. Mm-hmm. And he has horrible instincts. And I noticed that from the beginning. I've been calling him the bouncer. I've been saying this for 3-4 years. I'm like, I got a career for you, dude. When you retire, become a bouncer. because that's all you do is bounce, looking for freaking daylight, looking for a home run. And that's the problem. Anywho, who else do we have here?
I have a long shot for you.
Devin Neal. I like Devin Neal.
There you go.
By the way, I mean, you picked him up off the waiver wire. Somebody did. And this is low end, but look at the volume he might get the next 3 weeks against Carolina, the Jets, and Tennessee. And they activated Evan Hall. Neal got 14 carries, 3/22 receiving. Not bad. Tyler Warren has an unbelievable stretch. And Dalton Kincaid is very obvious. I mean, their Bills are screwed without Dalton Kincaid. The Bills are not going anywhere unless Dalton Kincaid steps up and becomes like a go-to guy.
Isn't that amazing for a guy that's like a 60% snap rate player?
It is.
I find that so interesting.
Yeah, and if they don't up that and lose, then something's got to go.
Yeah, I think it'll be Joe. I think his name is Joe Brady because I think a guy named Brian Daboll is kind of around the corner.
Right. Yeah, maybe so. And Joe Brady, the book on Joe Brady was early on. He's not great at scheming plays to get guys open. I think is kind of one of the issues there. There was one player that they had when he was in Carolina that it was just they couldn't do it. They couldn't get this guy going. Players to trade again.
DJ Moore.
Maybe I think it was pre DJ Moore. Maybe it was DJ Moore. Anyways, players to trade. Not that it matters, but I got some quarterbacks on here. Drake May off this week. I mean, at some point, are we going to go an entire season where Drake May and the Patriot offense produces every single week? I mean, we're trending that way, but we do also have obviously a bye this week. But you got Buffalo and Baltimore and the Jets. I know they're not ultra scary matchups, but they're very, very stingy. So I'm okay with it if you have a huge hole somewhere and ship them off. Not going to get any points this week, and then stream it at quarterback. Caleb Williams, don't like him. Don't like him at all. He's got the Bears or the Packers twice in the next couple of weeks. That's bad. Patty Mahomes, I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about him against Houston and the Chargers. Derrick Henry, if you traded for him when we said so, you did all right. He's RB5 in total scoring, but I maybe he runs all over Cincinnati week 15, but I've seen enough. I don't like him week 16, and I think he could get stymied week 17. Like he could be a playoff loser at this point. Breece Hall, you can't trust that Breece Hall could go off any given week, but I don't trust it. Last week, 2 catches for 8 yards. You kidding me? Rome Odunze, don't like the schematic matchups at all. Not a lot of man-heavy defenses. And Stephon Diggs, I'm done. It looked like he was emerging. Nope, he's not. That's it. I mean, we're at the bottom of the barrel here on the trade market, Thomas, but we can open it up to the Q&A here and see what the people have on their minds.
There is one player that you should be adding off of your waiver wires that is available even in dynasty leagues, let alone redraft leagues, and his name is Deshaun Watson. His practice window, his 21-day window is open, and you add him to the back end of your bench /IR because you just don't know. You do not know. That's obviously more for dynasty players. But look, free starting potential quarterbacks. That is the name of my game. Regardless if he is terrible or not, the Browns offense has still been pretty terrible outside of anyone named Fannin and Judkins. So he's worth a pickup at least.
I'm surprised you're even going there, quite frankly, because
Guru,
go ahead.
Gross quarterback history. It is astounding. Do you know how many teams in Superflex leagues I am starting Aaron Rodgers was starting Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco in every week? I do not pay for high-end quarterbacks in Superflex dynasties because it's generally not worth the squeeze. So if you look, it doesn't hurt. It's really not going to cost you anything.
Yeah.
In Dynasty, pick him up, add him to the end of your bench, slap him on IR. Maybe he never plays again. Maybe he's ass for the rest of his career. But I'm not letting him go free on my waiver wire. he should be right. Even if you can trade him later for a third, to me, that's a worthwhile waiver wire addition.
Oh, the only thing I'll add is, again, I'm not brushing back on you, but obviously he is free. And it's always not just about the player. It's about the cost and the risk. And there's probably no risk and no cost. But, I have noticed talking to former players over the years, I've had multiple dinners. I remember I'm sitting there having a dinner with Solomon Wilcott's, my boy, and some other analyst types who played in the league, and they all echoed the same. I can't remember what we were talking about or who we were talking about, but it was a player who took a year off. And they were like, you would not believe how difficult it is to be on an NFL roster as a starter and all that, and then take a full year off or more. Like it's of doing anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you could be hurt for a year, but you're with the team, you're rehabbing, da 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 da. But when you're not doing anything, and I don't know what Watson's been doing, quite frankly, over the last 2 years, but it does seem like he's had a ton of time off. I mean, it's really been 5 years since he was great.
Yep, I agree. But people have that name recognition as well. You can flip. Look, people will look at a third-round dynasty pick and kind of scoff at it. I love it. Anytime I can be like, yeah, I'll do this deal if you add in a third. Look at some of the third-round picks we've gotten over the last couple of years. Bucky Irving, Oronde Gadsden, just to name a few, right? You've got Tyler Shuck, who you were able to – I can now trade for a second easily.
Tyler Shuck, by the way, I trust Tyler Shuck to throw the ball better than like a third of the league out there right now.
He's been all right. Fannin is another one that comes to mind from Who Hams.
Yeah, love Fannin. I mean, he's been great.
Another third-round pick in some leagues, right? We've got, like, over the history, you've got guys like Antonio Gibson you've been able to flip. Jalen Hurts was a late second into the third round in his rookie year. Like, there's just always Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was a guy you could get in the third round and move for a first at some points, which if you were doing that.
Did I ever tell you my Jalen Hurts story? It's a very small anecdote, but from the combine. But I was talking to someone near the SiriusXM set, and it was like a little mini circle of people, like 3 or 4, and Jalen Hurts comes up into the circle. And you know me, I'm just observing the guy, and I came back for 5 minutes. I don't even think I talked to him. Maybe once. I came back and went on SiriusXM, and I said, "Hey, I know this kid has had a rocky career, got benched basically in the national championship game for Tua Tagovailoa, who then threw the game-winning touchdown to Devontae Smith. Then he moves on and all that. But I observe him like, do not doubt this guy. I'm like, this guy has got elite presence about him. Like, there's an aura. There's like a, you know, all that, like leader, natural leader, serious business, you know, like I would never doubt this man. However, and I'm not around him presently, you know, physically, but, you know, since then, I don't have the same vibe. I think, you know, he's kind of turned some sort of dark corner. I don't know, maybe the pressure of playing in Philly.
I think he just is what he is as a processor and as a passer, and it's not necessarily a terrible thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It just, consistency is maybe not his thing. He's
just a little, I don't know. He's a little more confrontational. He was a lot friendlier. He just had a more positive outlook. I think maybe it's just because he's just dialed in and that serious, but I tend to think it's, you know, he's a little entitled. He got a little entitled, but you know, maybe he's also pissed because he's got Kevin Patullo as offensive coordinator, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah. That guy, man, I fear for that dude.
I mean,
let's
what do we got?
Let's get to it. Our guy Thornton here. I'm in a quarterback dilemma. Well, we're your men. I'm in a super flex that only allows 3 active QBs. That's weird. I have Purdy, Brissett, and Herbert, but also have Daniels on my IR. Who would you drop when Daniels is active and playing? Purdy.
I would think I'd almost rather that frickin' Daniels didn't play. Is that crazy? I don't know, man. What are they doing? They're not going anywhere. I guess they, you got to get your guy out there. I guess is he trending toward playing this week? You think? I know it's early in the week.
I don't think he's playing this week.
At Minnesota, that's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
At the Giants is pretty good. Versus Philly may not be great. Versus Dallas. Now let's take a look at. You said Purdy.
I think I would rather Purdy, whose upside seems to be
somewhat capped.
Kind of capped. He doesn't have a 20-point game in 4-point passing touchdown leagues yet this year, but it's like week 1 he played, then he missed 2, then he played against Jacksonville in week 4, where I had 17, misses a ton of games, comes back, throws 3 touchdowns against Arizona, no yardage. That goes back to what we were talking about before. And then Carolina 7.3, and then 17 points against Cleveland. Like, he is the most risk to me. You've got Brissett throwing for like 40 times a game, and then Herbert, who's just unreal. Yes, he broke his hand, but he's still unbelievable every single week. So I would be dropping Purdy down my rest of season rankings.
But the funny thing is Brissett's untouchable.
Yeah, you have to. That's what I mean. This year is so wild and insane for, again, waiver wire quarterbacks.
It's like, I'm considering keeping Brissett over Jaden Daniels. Welcome to 2025, everybody.
That's right.
I mean, look, if Jaden Daniels played the last 4 games, I wouldn't be floored at all if Jacoby Brissett outproduced him, honestly. But then again, they did get McLaurin back, and they do have that Cowboys matchup in week, 17 for the Ship. That is a good one for McLaurin and Jaden Daniels. So, yeah, you got to keep Daniel. Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to go Purdy there. Got to go Purdy.
And then he comes back with another one. Should I start both Mechie and A.D. Mitchell in PPR? A bunch of guys are on bye. I have just Burden on my bench. He said he could pick up Kennedy, Downs, or Wicks.
Yeah. Tom Kennedy. I'm gonna ball out. I have a Kennedy name drop. If you want that,
Please.
me. I love name drops.
Jamie.
I sold my house in New Jersey, in Atlantic County, New Jersey, in 2011, and I moved across the state. Had an open house. At my open house was JFK's nephew, who is Ted Kennedy's son. So I wasn't even there, I don't think, but I know he sat down in this one chair. So for the next month, I did my impersonation sitting of him, Patrick Kennedy, sitting in my chair and going, I heard the guru lived here and I must buy this house right now. But no, he did not end up buying the house. But that is my Kennedy story for you. But anywho, see, here's the thing about A.D. Mitchell. We told people on the live stream last week, Thomas, you were there, to start A.D. Mitchell.
That's right.
There was a couple of people who I'm like, oh, you're looking for upside? You're looking for a swing for the fences? A.D. Mitchell all day. However, that was a complete schematic thing. He's Mr. Single high safety. They don't do that in Miami, I don't believe. I think what we're looking for with A.J. Mitchell, and I pointed that out in the waiver wire article, when you want to, I mean, basically I look at it like it's an A.D. Mitchell game or a Mechie game. That's kind of what I look at, honestly. And I think it is an A.D. Mitchell game week 16 against the Saints and week 17 against the Patriots. Week 14 and 15, I think, are Mechie games. So I'm gonna go Mechie. And I don't want to start 2 jet receivers.
So then are you adding someone like Burden, who's been consistently ticking up, or are you more willing to play someone like Dontavian Wicks, who had a big blow-up game?
Zacchaeus is still out there a little bit with Burden.
Right. We are seeing a target uptick. It's just not really amounting to much yet.
I think I'd go Downs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because here's the problem with Wicks. And we're talking this week or
it looks like this week. Yep.
Okay. I was gonna say the problem with Wicks is Jaden Reed is coming back. and Christian Watson. I mean, all of a sudden now we're going to deal with that. Watson, Reed, Wicks, and Dobbs on a run-heavy offense, pretty much. And then just when you think it's good game for Wicks, then Malik Heath scores. So I don't like that. I think I'm going Downs.
Interesting. Okay. I can vibe with that.
I mean, Downs looked good last week. All right. What do you got? Let's take a look.
Yeah, 6 targets, 2 receptions, but 6 targets on that game. He gets Jacksonville coming up here this week.
I mean, Michael Pittman got 1 catch for 13 in the game. We hated Pittman. I didn't like Pierce, and he did well. I thought it would be a Downs game, actually, and a Tyler Warren game.
Alec Pierce just looks like they're one at this moment. It's just such an odd call, but
yeah.
That's the NFL this year. Agent 7834, hello, can you help? We're going to try. He needs to start either Darnold or Tyrod.
By the way, I had an argument with a noted NFL draft guru at the Senior Bowl about Alec Pierce 3 years ago. I said, I like this guy. He was like, he's not any good. I'm like, really? Well, I think I'm going to reach out to that person and rub it in a little bit. Just breaking balls because he's a ball breaker. Darnold or Ty, or let me take a look here. Let's take a look. Tyrod, I don't have any schematic data because, he hasn't played all that much. The Dolphins have been very stingy, like really stingy. They're not giving up crap. Or Darnold. Let me see. I think I'm going Darnold here. I think I'm going Darnold. I mean, I understand he's not. Yeah, I'm going Darnold. Good schematic matchup for Darnold. Looks good for JSN as well. I know Atlanta is not that stingy. They're a little all over the map, but here's a good data point. They run single high. Cover 3, which is single high, right? And 10.5 YPA on cover 3. That's pretty damn good. So we're going Darnold there. Non-PPR, Tootin, Pacheco, Vidal. Well, probably have to go Pacheco because Hampton's coming back. Start 1, Alec P, BT. Alec P. We're not starting BTJ.
Yeah, the highlight of BTJ's season was a run block. Until that changes, no thank you.
No thank you. Yeah, so then start 1. Dolphin D, Chiefs D. I have retired from defensive. Let's take a look at our projections and see what we have. Yeah, I mean, I gave up on that a long time ago, and I'm glad. I hate to be a quitter, but
you need to read Brian Drake's defense article.
I mean, he crushes it.
The edge every week. He absolutely kills it. If you can't do that, I might be more inclined to play the Dolphins.
Let's see here against the Jets. We have Miami over KC, but it's close. But worser offense here. I mean, Houston showed signs of life last week. They've got, like we said, some balance. They may perform pretty well. What we don't have in the projections is where the game is. That's not good.
No, we got a Sal. We will send that away to our guys, and we will fix that.
See, on my Google sheet, I actually do have the game. So that's how I look at everything. But anyways, what else we have?
Our guy Scanny here back again.
Scanny.
RBs are Cook, Harvey, Jones, Benson, Stevenson. Are we okay with just having those guys, or do I need to trade away one of JSN, CD, or Rice? We're circling back to this question for you. Again, I'm not trading JSN, CD, Lamb, or Rice to get Bucky Irving. Just roll this out, brother.
I'm just rolling with RJ Harvey as my RB2 because I have an absolutely elite collection of wide receivers.
Yeah, you could do way worse at running back.
And Harvey, by the way, how many touchdowns does RJ Harvey have? We got like 8.
Yeah, it just like that dude's vision is terrible.
Totally touchdown dependent. Yeah, you're right.
His vision's terrible, but I mean, again, that's kind of what you're looking for in an RB2 slot. I've got teams that are built like
He's got 8. Unbelievable.
And CeeDee Lamb, and you've got a really, really solid to elite RB1. I have teams that are built like this that I rotate my RB2 between like Keaton Mitchell and some other fat ass running back, but they win games because you only need 10, right? You need 9 to 13 if everything else is hitting, right? So that's the way I look at it. If you were really gonna do it, I mean, CeeDee Lamb would be the guy to go for me, but even still, he's like one of the top 2 players in the league in expected fantasy points per game. I just don't want to trade that.
Right. All right. What else we have?
We have Pittman or Debo.
Let's take a look here. Pittman, Debo. Oh, I kind of like Debo here up against Minnesota. They play a lot of 2 high safeties, like the most in a league. And Debo, that's Debo's jam, 2.54 yards per route run. Let's take a look here at Pittman's situation. He is It's got a slightly negative schematic. Yeah, that's ballsy to go Debo over Pittman, don't you think? But then again, yeah, I think I'm going Pittman or Debo. Sorry, I'm going Debo.
Yeah, I think I would definitely play Debo. It seems like Michael Pittman Jr. has his chain snatched by Alec Pierce at this point, and Tyler Warren is just awesome. So he's a tough play right now. He's definitely a tough play for upside at the moment. With Kittle on bye, would you pick up Brenton Strange or Zach Ertz?
I mean, I called last weekend an anti-schematic weekend, and for Zach Ertz to catch 10 balls against a defense like Denver's that's man heavy is completely absurd because
6.
Yeah, it's completely absurd because he's been terrible against man coverage for years, for a half a decade. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, pick up Strange. Yeah. It seems a little weird, but yes, I'm going Strange over Ertz. I mean,
I think it's fair.
In the waiver wire article, I pointed out what he's produced, and it's good. You know, like he's had one bad game all year. What's he played? 6 or 7. He's had one bad game. Other than that, he's over double-digit points, or he's right there, basically.
He's Mr. Consistent. He leads the team in receiving, which is insane. Well, for now, I think Jacoby Myers is coming for that crown. That guy's, who could really use a receiver like Jacoby Myers, Guru?
The Raiders? The Patriots, yeah.
They never should have let Jacoby Myers walk out the door. They never should have.
No.
Go blue, start 1, Darnold, Brissett, or Love. He says, and also, what do you do with Lamar Jackson at this point? Hold and pray that he gets healthy all of a sudden. That's all you can do. But Darnold, Brissett, or Love, Guru?
I thought Lamar ran better last week.
Yeah, he's just still not all the way there.
No, he looked a little bit more explosive. Darnold, Brissett, or Love? Well, I'm going Brissett.
Have to, right?
You have to.
You
just have to. I mean, it's old school. This guy is playing like it's the 90s right now. Like everybody else can't complete a forward pass, yet Brissett is throwing for 300 every week. Let's take a look. 301, 317, 452, 258, 261, 279, 320. Jacoby Brissett is one of the best passers in the National Football League. End statement. I mean, it's incredible. And by the way, multiple touchdowns in all but one game. And in that one game, let's see, did he run one in? No, but he got a half a touchdown on the ground with 20 yards rushing. I mean, he's like the safest play at the position, which is absurd.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty open about not being like a quarterback scout, right? I don't pretend to be. I'm not a hashtag watch the film guy. I'll never pretend to be. We have really smart, intelligent people that are way better at it than I do. I just ask them questions. there's just something about seeing consistently 30, 32, 33-year-old backup quarterbacks come in and operate offenses better.
Yeah.
I think there's a disconnect to the college game, to the NFL game.
Yeah, well, I've been saying that for literally 10 years.
Yeah, it's to me, it's more noticeable this year than in years past, where like, how do you have somebody like Jacoby Brissett, who's been an outcast,
Yeah,
deemed average at best,
how do you have Joe Flacco come in and throw for 300 every week?
Yeah, granted, yeah, turnovers, maybe a little bit more loose with the ball, etc. Lower expectations, maybe, and that's why we notice it. But interesting to watch. 32, 33. Even Tyrod Taylor comes in and operates that offense significantly better. I don't think he's that much better of a functioning quarterback than Justin Fields is, but yet the offense runs, feels, and looks completely different with the veteran at the helm. So just an interesting note for me this year. Nothing obviously there's no concrete evidence there, but just something I'm noticing this season a little bit more. Parrothead says, morning guys, really need some help trimming my roster for the playoffs. He says it's a 10-team PPR. Hate that it's come to this, but is Brian Thomas Jr. worth holding on to? Waiver wire is pretty ample with options such as A.D. Mitchell.
No, he's not. I mean, it's over. Forget it. It's done. It's completely over. He's the fourth receiver for a quarterback who stinks. Hire that man. No, I'm done. It's over. By the way, Jacoby Brissett, let's see here. 6 games. Let's see. 1, 2. I think I'm missing 1 game. Let me back it up a moment. I'm just saying where he is since he started. If I can back it up 1 more week since he started, he is the QB4. Better than Jalen Hurts, better than Dak, better than Stafford. I mean, first of all, the list is kind of a joke. The fact that Caleb is on there and Dart and even Bo Nix. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is QB13 in this span, by the way, better than Jordan Love and Jared Goff. I mean, it's insane. Baker Mayfield is QB18 in this span. Darnold QB19. I mean, Jesus. Rodgers, just terrible. Look at all these awful options. Geno, Cam Ward. Oh my God. Where's Mac Jones? Can somebody hire Mac Jones, please?
Get him
there
back.
You go. Mac Jones is a professional, pro-style quarterback. That's why Mac Jones is better than half the starters in the league right now.
Well, I'm not going to go that. I think Mac Jones is still fairly terrible, but I think he's going to be a starting quarterback next year. San Francisco gets a 4th-round pick. Someone's going to send San Francisco a 4th-round pick.
You think he's terrible, but if you put Mac Jones on a team with a good O-line and running game and a defense that is upper tier, and you just stay ahead of the down, Mac Jones will pick your ass apart and just move the ball up and down the field.
So, Minnesota.
I'll take it. No, I mean, I'll take it. No, Mac Jones. If Mac Jones were on the Vikings right now, they'd be in playoff contention.
I know. I just thought it was too good of a setup not to hit it.
Don't say anything negative about McCorkle. That's my guy. I love Mac Jones.
Willie, good morning, fellas. Trying to secure a bye week full PPR. Hampton or Jaden Higgins in the flex?
Oh, I'm rolling with Hampton all day long. He's back. They kind of held him out last week, so I think he's back. And I noticed in our projections we're pretty high on him this week. So I'm going Hampton and sleeping like a baby.
100%. From Bear Down, he said, thanks everyone at Fantasy Points. I clinched the top seed.
Nice.
He says, I don't have a meaningful game until week 16. He said, my RB room is Taylor, Walker, Charbonnet, Harvey, Manungai, that's my guy, and Hendo. Would you drop Charbonnet to stash Abdullah? I would not.
Right. And Abdullah is where he's in Indy, right?
He's projected to be the backup in Indy should anything happen to Taylor, because Giddens doesn't exactly get a lot of run. But
I wouldn't do it because that's a fluid situation there. I wouldn't. I'm sure Amir Abdullah will be third down guy and probably half the early down at least. But they have other guys there. So I think Charb, you never know. You might get an injury or two. You got to sit around and wait for 2 damn weeks. And, maybe you get an injury or two. No, I think Charbonnet, I'm keeping Charbonnet. And by the way, Taylor, not to curse him, I mean, we haven't come remotely close to an injury scare this year on Taylor.
Right. Yeah, at this point, look, the way I see it is when you have a player like Taylor, if you lose him, you're probably cooked. Like, I don't think Amir Abdullah is coming in and saving the day. I know we had the Zach Moss scenario a couple years ago, but I don't see that with this backfield. So,
by the way, Amir Abdullah, again, I know I annoy people sometimes with the combine comments, but screw it. I loved Amir Abdullah. I had a chance to interact with him, and I'm like, this guy is amazing. Like he's awesome. He's got his shit together like you wouldn't believe. And granted, I had to apologize. Like, well, I guess I was wrong. Didn't really stand out that much. But here we are, 13 years later. He's still around. So, I mean, there's something there. I mean, this guy was very impressive. I was like, man, this guy's got his shit together. Anywho, what else we have?
I don't think you're wrong with that at all. The veterans that do the small things stick around, right? That's kind of always what it is.
Totally.
So yeah, we're not doing this one. Apologies. I'm having some coughing fits over here. It's well, don't worry, we're here. We're locked in. We're vibing. Notorious says, wow, you guys have JMO number 1 this week. Would you really play him over any of these JSN, Rice, Lamb, in a non-PPR?
I mean, that is pretty outrageous. And there you go. We've already updated it. I was up this morning. I saw it before 8:14. I was like, oh, wow. Look how high we have golf. That was the shocker to me. We have golf at 2. So my question is that projecting that Amon-Ra plays? But it does not look like it does, because I don't think we're projecting Amon-Ra. Let me see here. No, we're not. And so, the tight end's out too, by the way. So it's like Tesla.
Could be.
Tom Kennedy. If you throw me the ball, I will catch it. I will score a touchdown. I'm Tom Kennedy.
The thing with Jameson Williams is we found out what it takes for him to be what everyone in the fantasy community kept telling us he would be, and it's that nobody else on the team could play.
It's like you have to throw him the ball.
Exactly.
You have to force it to him.
If I'm not mistaken, that's his first 10-target game of his career, if I'm not mistaken. Look, I'm in shambles without Amon-Ra St. Brown on so many teams, but luckily, last year I wrote up Jameson Williams as a buy. Hopefully you did that then and not when the price went up.
By the way, not to go against the projections, but the answer to the question is no.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
No.
JSN and Rice, right? It's non-PPR, right? So you're looking for touchdowns specifically.
By the way,
smash. Rice is going to smash. Lamb is the one that I would question a little bit, but again, we're talking about one of the best expected fantasy points players on the season. Like, I can't do that.
By the way, I lost in the freaking playoffs in an FFPC by 4 points, of course. Here's my receiving core. I started Jordan Love last week. He got 28 points. My receivers, and I have Jonathan Taylor. This is a team I thought was going to make a run. Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Rashee Rice, and JMO, and lost last week. Well, I guess it's not that much of a shock because I got 6.7 points total from JSN and Jefferson. JSN gets 6 points on one drive most weeks, but not this week for yours truly. And I even started Brenton Strange over Dalton Schultz, which actually cost me a damn point. And I started him over Hawkinson, which I gained a 1 point. Unbelievable. I got Schultz 16 points, Hawkinson 14.9, and freaking Brenton Strange 15. I started Strange. I also got 2 touchdowns from RJ Harvey. Still lost. 1 point from Chris Boswell. You believe that? 1?
This season I've suffered some of my worst losses in my fantasy football career. I'm talking 0.08 points.
Oh yeah.
I had a 1.1 here a week or two ago to determine the number 1 seed so far. Just crushing defeats. Agent says I'm renewing my subscription next year. I love you guys and the staff. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you.
RCG says PPR Devon Vele or AD Mitchell. This is 2025 fantasy football in a nutshell.
Try the Valet. By the way, here's another one. I did not make the playoffs in a Superflex Dynasty on FFPC. I've got 1,723 points on the season. The first place team in another division, 1,594, and they made the playoffs. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm almost 200 points over them, and nope, you didn't make the playoffs.
Well, that's one of the reasons I think more and more there is clamoring for the highest points for getting the last seed in the playoffs.
I like that rule.
That's actually becoming more and more of a staple in leagues.
It is, yeah.
I'm less of a fan because I love the variance in fantasy football, but I understand why somebody would want that rule in. That's definitely a rule I think you and your league mates should be voting on heading into next season. But
it's a good rule.
We've got Try the Vele.
Oh, yeah.
Guy A.D. Mitchell here for our guy RCG.
I'm going Try the Valet.
Try the Valet.
Yeah, because A.J. Mitchell, I don't totally trust A.D. Mitchell this week. They're not a single high safety team. Look, A.D. Mitchell's going to get targeted. They're throwing it to him a lot. He certainly still has more upside than Valet, no matter what. But I think I'm going Valet here.
I need to see the all Mormon fantasy point scoring Taysom Hill to Vele for a touchdown. The all Mormon fantasy connection needs to happen one
Devon Vele is a Mormon?
He's a 27-year-old sophomore from Utah. I can confirm that, yes, he is a Mormon.
Oh, I did not know that. But I will say this, that, you're wondering, like, where did this come from? Well, Devon Vele was traded. It took about 6 weeks, but simply some guys don't pick up the offense right away. So the last 2 weeks have been extremely encouraging. I mean, he's got like a 92% catch rate, and you got a big-bodied receiver in the middle of the field. Olave is not that, so I think he's probably going to usurp Juwan Johnson a little bit. But my guy Tyler Shuck, I have more confidence in Tyler Shuck throwing a football and completing passes than like 13 other quarterbacks out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
He got moved up a couple of spots in my dynasty trade tier chart that you can get in the my
Discord.
In the fantasy
Discord.
Points Discord, which you can get to from the website. That link in the description, obviously. And I had a hard time not moving up. And when you look at consolidation sites, he's definitely gained some value. Like, he is not that far off from like Tua, McCarthy, Kyler. Like, he's only a couple of spots right now on consolidation sites. So he's not bad. And from Bear Down, he says, thanks, you guys are awesome. You are awesome. And again, from Go Blue, need 2 and a 1 PPR, Marks, Neal, Tesla, or Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, he's in. I'm going with Marvin up against Tampa. No, not Tampa. Who they got this week?
Funny to me that's a name that's on this list. Like,
right. It's like
supposed to be.
It's like I got 2 guys who were in the trash can 2 days ago on waivers versus the guy who was the 13th overall pick last year in Marvin Harrison. Well, Harrison is in. Now, I might go Devin Neal over Marks. They don't throw the ball to Marks.
Which is weird. He's a explosive player.
That was No, he was a receiving specialist.
Yeah, like, he's an explosive player. He had that screen pass that went for 50, or maybe it was a swing pass, a screen pass. I have a hard enough time remembering what I ate for lunch last week, let alone what happened 5 or 6 weeks ago in fantasy. But
I'm going Neal.
He's an explosive player that I just don't understand why why NFL teams take a player, they're like, man, he's really good at that. Let's shoehorn him into this role for no reason and never do that thing that he was really good at. I don't understand why they would not design him some checkdowns, a Texas route,
right.
a little wheel route. Like I don't understand why they keep players like that in the box. I never will.
Right.
That is why my offensive play calling never passed junior varsity high school football. So
yeah, maybe it's simply, they're looking at it like we need him to be fairly explosive in the running game and let him focus on that. And let's not put too much on his plate. And I noticed they dump it off a couple times to friggin' Nick Chubb lately.
mm-hmm.
That's just a thought. But at the end of the day, Marks, they don't throw him the ball. He runs pretty well, but every week now he's Mr. Empty Calories. I got 17 carries for 62 yards, and I caught one ball for 4. Enjoy your 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Devin Neal, he's catching 3-4 balls. I mean, he caught 3 for 22. There's 5 points right there. That's like 50 yards rushing for Marks. And then Neal got 14 carries and he ran for like 47. So he beat him. So I'm going Devin Neal.
Right. Yeah. It just an odd season. Rob Milder wants to know. He wants to dive into the guru here. Little take here. Guru, who is your best off-season call thus far?
It's been rough, but I got to tell you, I would say this. If you read my draft plan article, you probably don't remember this, but I was kind of feeling wide receiver in round 1. And I stated that over and over again. I drafted almost all wide receivers in round 1. Because I noticed that there were just a very select number of elite options at wide receiver. B, I thought the running backs would take a little bit of a drop off from last year in 2024. And C, I love Jonathan Taylor. Like that was my number one thing. Go wide receiver 1 in round 1 and get Taylor. And then, by the way, come back and maybe get JSN. So, not the best year for yours truly. I mean, it wasn't bad. I had some good players on my target list for sure. Devontae Adams, George Pickens, Tyler Warren, quarterback weren't great, but I did add Drake May. It was on my, what I mean? But I think that's probably the best thing I did all year was advised to go wide receiver 1 in round 1, come back with Johnny Taylor and then go wide receiver again. Mm-hmm. and maybe JSN. And I did that multiple times. Now, the only problem with that is you kind of got screwed if you took frickin' Jefferson.
Yeah.
But if you took Lamb, you're good.
Yeah, there's actual teams out there that went, Chase, Taylor, JSN, Pickens, and you're just
exactly.
You're laughing your butt off.
But that was kind of like my number one thing in the draft plan is get that wide receiver, come back. And granted, the backup plan to Taylor, if he wasn't there, was Chase Brown, but also James Cook. If you notice in the draft plan, I took James Cook a bunch of times. But I think that's probably the best thing I did. But I was very, very high on Jackson Smith and Jigba. I was higher than the market. I was probably higher on JSN than I don't know. I didn't see anybody higher on JSN, quite frankly. So I would say that's probably my best call overall. Or Taylor.
Not like Chase Brown has been a dud either. I mean,
right.
Picked it up here since week 7-ish. But
biggest regret, all things Minnesota. That's it. Biggest regret. I felt something epic coming. This happens to me. I anticipated something epic. Unfortunately, it was an epic fail. So sometimes I can sense when something big is going to happen, good or bad. And sometimes I get those signals confused, I think. But the Vikings cannot handle prosperity. And that's really their problem. 14-2, expectations high. Should have known, because that's what happens every single time expectations are high for the Vikings. They find a way to lower those expectations dramatically.
You wax poetic about your team being terrible like I do. Like I will wax poetic about Baltimore being ass for a period of time, and The only person I've ever seen do it better is you, Guru. That was spot on. That was perfect. Fantastic. I think my best call of the year has to be not drafting Cam Ward higher than he should be because he was the number 1 overall pick. Those things do not go hand in hand. They do not have to go hand in hand. You do not have to draft a quarterback because he was the number 1 overall pick. He does not run enough. That was my call this year.
Right.
I'm gonna end up happy with that.
Now, plenty of players I liked. Just kind of came up small. Quarterbacks weren't really great. But I think the running back calls were pretty good. Let me see here real quick. Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. I bailed on Devon Achane, and I replaced him with Jacobs. So that was not great, but not horrible. Chase Brown, Hampton, Henderson, of course. Aaron Jones, no. My worst call was freaking Tony Pollard. Whoops.
Oh,
terrible.
The Titans. I was all over Calvin Ridley.
Me too. I liked him too. Jalen Warren, Cam Scattaboo.
Yeah. Well,
Charbonnet was on my list, if you can believe that. Rashad White, Trey Benson, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt as RB50. Hey, it's not bad. Wide receivers real quick. The worst, Brian Thomas was, I am sorry again. Nico, JSN, Garrett Wilson. What are you going to do? Devontae Adams, Rashee Rice, Devontae Smith, George Pickens, Ted McMillan, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, Matthew Golden, Ricky Pearsall, Ibuka, Darnell Mooney, of course, because every year I'm in on Jaden Higgins. That's pretty good. I even had Kyle Williams on there, and he scored last week. A very low end was pretty shaky. I had Ayamana on there. I had Tesla on there. That's pretty good, though. It's not bad.
Holy crap, Kyle Williams did score. Usually when Kyle Williams scored in week 10, it was all over my Twitter timeline. But this 33-yard score, nothing. I have not heard a single thing to the point where I did not even know he scored. So
yeah, that was a great play. Great throw. Brock Bowers, Hawkinson was my biggest fail. I had Kelsey on there, believe it or not, and Andrews, despite them being old heads. Tyler Warren, I was very high on. Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson. That's not bad. It's a weird year. It's a terrible year. I always feel like I should have been way better. But that's actually not that bad overall, based on everything I just said. But thank you for bringing that up, because I hadn't looked at that in a couple of months.
Yeah, I know it was his only. It's so fly fish. That's exactly it. It was his only target. But you got to understand, my Twitter timeline is so dynasty focused that.
By the way, I'm out on all Patriot receivers going forward. I'm not going to take a stand and promote anyone because they're too good. They're just too good. You can't predict it. They got to get Matt Collins out there. Stephon Diggs looked like he was emerging. Nope. Hooper didn't get a target last week, shockingly, but I'm sure he'll score this week. Got to throw Kyle Williams out there. Got to get Matt Collins out there. And Demario Douglas deserves to play a little bit as well. And Booty's really good. And Henry's really solid. Like, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah, the only player I'm trusting is Hunter Henry on that offense. Even look at Trevion Henderson. He immediately went back to.
Yeah, just when we thought he was going to be the guy, he wasn't the guy.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. We got a couple more here if you want to.
Let's barrel through them real quick.
A couple here, sure. B-Fred, trade deadline is today at 2. Trade away Amon-Ra and Chase Brown to get Gibbs and Zay Flowers.
Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, that's not bad though.
You get Gibbs for sure. Zay Flowers has just been so bad because of this offense. So
didn't he just miss a big play last week?
Well, they've been just missing a bunch of plays.
I know. But yeah, next 2 weeks, Zay Flowers probably be pretty good. Although against Cincinnati, if they put that Turner on him, forget it. That G.D. Turner has been freaking erasing guys.
That is what I called last week.
I'm still okay with it, though, because Gibbs is like 1.5 players, man.
Yeah, Amon-Ra and that ankle, it definitely has me concerned.
I would do it. Zay Flowers is still the one.
Yeah, he is. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Do we expect did Thielen?
I love that they have a trade deadline at 2 p.m. on a random Wednesday in Detroit in December, for God's sakes.
Hey, that is a lot of my dynasty leagues. Our trade deadlines are week 14 as well. I totally get it. Scott White says, do you guys expect Thielen to do anything with Rodgers? Not much there in terms of wide receivers with Metcalf. I didn't even hear that. Have I been in a what is I'm not in a cave.
You don't know about Adam Thielen, Jordan Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers with Art? No. Thielen's been terrible. He dropped a huge third down. That was like the first sign of trouble with J.J. McCarthy was week 1. Adam Thielen dropped a touchdown, I'm pretty sure, and a huge third down. I'm like, this doesn't look good at all. And he's been worthless. And Jalen Naylor emerged. The Steeler passing game is repugnant. It is disgusting slop. Okay, they are pathetic. DK Metcalf is a bum. I like Roman Wilson, and I like Calvin Austin. You know, I've met both of those young men. They're very nice guys, and they can run, but there's nothing downfield going on there. I mean, it's disgusting. Do you disagree, Thomas?
Oh, no, I think that offense is inept outside of my guy, one of my favorite players, Darnell Washington. I mean, 300-pound tight end.
You like that fatty?
Get him that ball, 100.
Oh, my God.
And we would have so much fun. You cannot tell me that watching him catch a football and slam people half his size down into the turf is not fun to watch. At worst,
it is fun.
He is entertaining as hell. And as a former fatty, it is nice to see the big guy get the football. I'm just saying, scheme him up. So I would rather see him than Pat Freiermuth.
You would love our cat named Fatty.
Oh,
that's his name. Fatty.
Sounds like my spirit animal. No, I think this passing offense is inept. I saw the report where they're talking about how they really enjoyed their time with Rodgers and they contemplate bringing him back. They need to clean house so bad.
Here's the problem with an offense like this. No matter what happens this week, you can't trust it next week unless it's bad, which it probably will be. If it's bad, then you can trust. Oh, they'll be bad next week too. But if for some ungodly reason Calvin Austin makes a big play or Jonnu gets fed the ball, or it doesn't matter. Even if they do well this week, going forward, I'm still have zero trust in them. Zero. So forget it. Just write them off.
Yeah, you can't trust it. And the DK Metcalf stuff. I talked to Brett Whitefield about this, and he says that he's just kind of it looks like he's lost a step on deep balls. He's lost a step in yards after catch. And
we know my theory.
Yeah.
You can't run around playing wide receiver looking like the Incredible Hulk. Your body will break down and you'll fall off a cliff. You'll look like a 47-year-old man when you're 27, and that's what he looks like.
The big-bodied wide receivers
yes,
slow down so fast.
Yes, like they do.
If you're not a crisp route runner like a Keenan Allen is, and you rely on size, speed, like AJ Green broke down so fast.
He did. And AJ Green was way better in DK, by the way.
100%.
Way better.
Alshon Jeffrey broke down really quick.
100%.
Another guy in that mold, in that model. Des Bryant broke down insanely quick.
Brandon Marshall held on for a good number of years.
Well, Brandon Marshall was a route runner.
Right.
Brandon Marshall could really carve up the routes.
And DK's not. I've always been a DK hater. I can't stand him. Can't stand him.
Definitely not. So that's the problem with those guys, and his step looks like it's a bit gone. So
it's gone.
Good for him. He got his big contract. He got the contract, and he's good now. But I'm done. Oh, there's Brett. Brett, I just referenced it. Did or did not DK Metcalf lose a step at this point?
Are you sure that's Brett? This could be an imposter.
No, Brett. That's Brett. That's okay. Brett. That's our guy. Right. That's our guy. Right. That's our. Right. But that's I got one more here for you that I wanted to get to. Right here from Scott of Scots. This week and the future, this is where we've gotten with Xavier Worthy, Jaden Higgins, Worthy, and Tesla.
Worthy's done. I'm glad to say I was never on board with Worthy. Never made it to my target list. I flirted with it this year. Glad I didn't do it. It's all Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins is a professional wide receiver. He is good. That's it. I've seen enough. He's good. He's going to be an outside guy there for a long time. And I love Jalen Noel. So I think they are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I definitely am inclined to agree. The problem with Worthy is he's the bone density of an 85-year-old man. And
he is fragile.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
We had questions of where it was like, oh, when Rice comes back, can Worthy still be no, it was just Rice immediately as soon as he came back. So, I was also a fader of Xavier Worthy. And aside from a few trick plays and a couple of games, it looked solid. Guru, I think that's going to wrap it up before you have to go and record the other pods and do everything else that you got to do. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, nothing, but we'll continue our best to try and predict the future in a very unpredictable National Fake You Out League. Keep reading Hansen's hints. I spend a shitload of time on that puppy. Doing the best I can to, like I said, try and predict the future. It's been a rough couple of weeks here, but pretty much every year this happens right around this time. I guess next year we'll remember on the post-Thanksgiving tryptophan buzzkill, like let's lower expectations for week 13. I'm pretty sure it happened last week. But maybe things start trending upward a little bit in week 14, 15. It always happens this way. So I'm preparing for that. So with that said, for Thomas Tipple, I am John Hansen. This has been Hump Day with Hansen, week 14. Good luck with it. And stay tuned to all the other programming here. I'll be recording matchup points with Graham Barfield and Brent Whitefield. That'll be an hour and a half of hashtag analysis on the week. And we'll be recording that tonight, and that will be up tomorrow morning. So for Thomas, I'm John. Enjoy your day. We'll catch you next week here on Hump Day with Hansen.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.